Boxing is one of humanity's oldest and purest tests of skill, willpower, and endurance, a sport that has evolved across civilizations, shaped cultures, and defined champions. Long before bright lights and sold-out arenas, boxing began in ancient worlds carved from stone and sand. The earliest evidence reaches back more than 5,000 years to Sumerian carvings in Mesopotamia, where two fighters stand with their fists raised. Similar scenes appear in ancient Egypt around 1350 BCE, showing that long before it was formalized, boxing was already a symbol of strength, preparation, and survival. The sport took its first major step toward organized competition in ancient Greece. There, boxing became an official event of the Olympic Games in 688 BCE. Fighters wrapped their hands with strips of soft leather called hemantes, designed mainly to protect the knuckles. Greek boxing was a relentless contest with no rounds, no weight classes, and no time limits. Two men fought until one could no longer continue. Despite its rawness, it was a respected athletic discipline, one that laid the foundation for the competitive spirit we still recognize today. When the sport moved to ancient Rome, it transformed into a brutal spectacle. Romans took the Greek handwraps and replaced them with metal-studded gloves known as the cestus. These turned fights into gladiatorial combat where contestants often battled to the death. Over time, this extreme violence helped contribute to the decline of boxing as the Roman Empire collapsed, and for centuries afterward the sport largely disappeared from the historical record. Boxing re-emerged in 17th century England, evolving into what became known as bare-knuckle boxing. This was a raw, unregulated form of combat, with no gloves, no standardized rules, and very few limits. Fighters could grapple, throw, and strike a downed opponent. It was tough, chaotic, and sometimes deadly. In 1743, champion Jack Broughton introduced the first formal rules aimed at protecting fighters, including banning strikes to a downed man and implementing a 30-second recovery count. These early standards marked the beginning of boxing's shift from street-level brawling toward a more structured sport. The true transformation came in 1867 with the introduction of the Marquess of Queensberry rules. These rules created the framework of modern boxing as we know it. Mandatory padded gloves, 3-minute rounds with 1-minute rest periods, weight classes, and a 10-second count for knockdowns. With this shift, boxing became more organized, technical, and tactical. John L. Sullivan, the last world bare-knuckle champion and the first gloved heavyweight champion, bridged the two eras and became one of the sport's early legends. Throughout the 20th century, boxing grew into a global phenomenon and produced champions who defined entire eras. Jack Johnson shattered racial barriers as the first black heavyweight champion. Jack Dempsey's explosive style captivated millions. Joe Louis became a national hero and symbol of American resilience. Muhammad Ali elevated boxing beyond sport with his brilliance, charisma, and cultural impact. Later generations, Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, and many others, continued to evolve the sport style, athleticism, and worldwide reach. Today, boxing thrives in amateur gyms, Olympic arenas, and professional promotions across the globe. It is practiced by children seeking discipline, adults pursuing fitness, and athletes chasing greatness. Despite the rise of other combat sports, boxing remains timeless because its essence is simple and universal. Two individuals, one ring, and the pure challenge to outthink, outwork, and outfight an opponent. From ancient warriors chiseling their legacy into stone to modern champions, raising their hands under stadium lights. The history of boxing is the story of human endurance, reinvention, and the eternal search for mastery. And as long as people seek challenge and self-discovery, boxing will continue to stand as one of the world's most enduring and inspiring arts.